The Super Bowl stage is nearly set with 4 teams advancing through the playoffs this weekend. The Patriots bounced out the Chiefs, Cardinals edged out the Packers, the Broncos defeated the Steelers, and the Panthers sent the Seahawks packing. That means this weekend's championship round will feature a nice mix of old heads and new blood, Patriots and Broncos, Cardinals and Panthers respectively. Now, while the season continues for those 4 teams, off seasons have already begun for the rest, and there are head coaching changes flying around the league. So tonight, we're going to hit those, we're going to talk about what happened this past weekend, and we're going to preview the next one right here on the Hawks Die. All right, well, that's a full docket, wouldn't you say, ladies and gentlemen?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's get right into it. My name's Sean Conti. As usual, the crew is here. Mr. Robbie Deadeye Duncan.
Hello. Hello.
Mr. Steve Thomas.
Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing?
And my man, Alex Zeese. What's going on, man?
I'm trying to think of something witty to say, but I can't. So just hi, everybody.
You blew it.
Well, you
had one job.
Come up with something witty. No, I was very glad the Redskins, won their game this weekend, so they're advancing on to the conference championship game for the first time, since 1991. So we all should be excited. Yeah.
That's right.
And then you woke up.
Yeah, and then I woke up. That's exactly right.
Hey, any week when the Redskins don't lose is a good week. That's why we all love the off season, right?
Oh, that's a great way to put it, Alex. See, I like your attitude.
You don't like my fantasy world?
No.
Nah. I've spent too long living in that one, my friend. But anyways, let's talk about, like we said, full docket. We've got to talk about the stuff, changes going on in the league. We've got to talk about what happened this past weekend. And the Super Bowl stage, like I said in that intro, is set. So that's going to be interesting to talk about. But maybe we should start with what happened, what transpired this past weekend, because we had some sweet games.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Maybe we should start. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ideas about where to start. I kind of love that Packers game because it was so dramatic at the end. We could start there, but
yeah, I feel like that's the one we have to talk about.
It's the big one.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers' throw
at
the end of the game. Holy moly!
Yeah.
I mean,
and
up
there's
60
the
yards
right
down
there.
the field, off his back foot, falling backwards.
5 seconds on the clock.
Incredible.
Yep.
That friends is a franchise quarterback.
Yes, it is. Now, after the strangest coin toss probably in NFL history.
It wasn't actually a toss, though.
How do you screw up a coin toss?
Yeah, that was
How does
weird.
it not flip?
It was more like a coin throw because it didn't actually toss.
It was, and it's funny. They played it on replay, and the announcers were saying, you could try that 100 times. You could never make it do that again. Not flip once.
Apparently, there is some rule that it has to turn so many times in the air that no one knows except for the refs.
Yeah, see, I'm sure that's true.
Oh, see, now you're going to make me look that one up. I'm going to have to go find it. Stay tuned for a report.
Speaking of which, quick question. Where do you look these things up? Because as I understand, the referee handbook is not openly available, but all the time I want to check on these things.
I have my sources.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean,
Say
the
no more.
NFL rule book, I don't have it, but I'm sure I can find it somewhere. It'll be in the NFL rule book.
Well, a lot of the refs are of a similar profession as you, Steve, so maybe you could make a few phone calls.
Yeah, I could. Perhaps. I'll try.
That's true.
We'll have on as
Steve, you would be a good referee.
Yeah.
You would be a good referee.
We'll have Gene Sarator as a guest on next week's Hog Stye. How about that?
Yeah, I actually
Jeff
could totally
Triplett.
see Steve as a ref. Do the whole, Ed Hockley cut off the sleeves thing.
Oh, yeah.
I need to gain 50 pounds of muscle in order to, be Ed Hockley.
Yeah, so do we all. That dude's ripped. Well, anyways, after the strangest coin toss in football history, there was such a heartbreaking moment there for the Packers. Imagine that. You come alive, 5 seconds left on the clock, throw a Hail Mary just to tie it, and then Larry Fitzgerald comes back and does what he does to you. Brutal.
What a beast.
Brutal.
And you guys are talking about the amazing pass by Rodgers, but that run by Fitzgerald once he got the ball was equally just an amazing play.
I mean, it was amazing.
He's not a young receiver anymore either.
Well,
I mean,
he's spry, though. We can say
he's still spry, but I mean, he's like, what, 30, 31, 32?
Yeah, he is, but I'd like
to... it might be older.
I give Chris Carter the credit for bringing this to my mind here, but I heard him talking about Larry Fitzgerald this morning on Mike and Mike, And what he said was that Bruce Arians moved Fitzgerald from the X receiver to the Z receiver this year and said, look, I know you've been an X guy your whole career, but this is going to help you. And for those of you who don't know, the X guy is the guy who's the split end, who's lined up on the line of scrimmage, and he's typically bigger, not a burner, but he can run all the routes. He can go inside, and that's kind of Larry Fitzgerald's thing. But they moved him to Z, which is the slot guy, and who's off the line, and that is, that's a big reason why he's put up great numbers this year.
Gives
Fitzgerald.
him a little separation off the bat.
Exactly.
Well,
and he's such a good route runner too, so it helps him get separation.
Because you've got that. Again, those you don't realize. I mean, the guys in the slot have got about a 2-yard cushion before the DB can engage him, and so it gets these guys going a little bit more, and it's really helped Fitzgerald a lot.
Well, absolutely, and he's a versatile guy. I will say on that play, the dude was miles open. I mean, that was a crazy. How do you lose Larry Fitzgerald in overtime? How do you do that?
Well, I think a lot of the Packers guys assumed that Carson Palmer was going down on that play. I mean, he almost pulled like an Eli Manning during the Super Bowl back against the Patriots. How he just magically escaped the sack and then just found Larry Fitzgerald open.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
It was beautiful. But, I mean, if there's one guy not to quit on in overtime in the playoffs, is you don't lose sight of Larry Fitz because he got the ball wide open. Now, I agree with you. It didn't – I don't know how, if you leave him open, you allow them to complete the pass, how can you not make that tackle and, stop the bleeding? I mean, he just squeezed through 1,000 different holes.
Well, it was terrible. It was terrible tackling. Yeah. Horrible.
Absolutely.
I'd just like to give Carson Palmer credit for that game. He didn't have the greatest game of his life. He, threw some bad plays, but he kept plugging and kept working. And it worked out for him in the end. I believe that was his first playoff victory. So congratulations to Carson Palmer.
And he's in his mid to late 30s now. Yeah. So
I'm rooting for them, man.
Yeah.
I like the Panthers too, but I'm rooting for the Cardinals. I like Larry Fitzgerald. He's been at it for a long time.
He's a guy who, if he was on a more successful team, would be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't know, being on Arizona, they've been terrible for a lot of his career. They've had a couple runs.
Yeah, but the media
they've only had
him.
one real run with him, right? And he tore it up, I believe.
That was with Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
The media likes Larry Fitzgerald. He's he does a lot of media spots. He did the spot on ESPN before the Monday Night Football radio broadcast. He's intelligent.
He's been the face of that franchise.
Yeah, he's a guy who's going to get in quickly just because he's a media favorite.
Well, he's not a douchebag, is the fact of the matter. And there are guys where everyone disagrees. They're like, oh, he's a douchebag. Oh, he's not a douchebag. Like Cam Newton. Steve and I have argued about Cam Newton, for example.
Yeah.
But there are some guys who just universally, nobody gets that vibe from them. And I think Larry Fitz is one of them.
for example. Well, and the other thing
there
is,
you go. That's a good point.
Larry Fitzgerald's father is
a prick.
Larry Fitzgerald's father is a sports writer.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
So he's already kind of a part of the club, so to speak.
He knows his way around the media.
Yeah. And I assume there's no Redskins fans out there that are upset that Green Bay lost. Hopefully not.
No, probably not.
I'm not.
I think we were all laughing.
Generally speaking, I don't have a problem with Green Bay, but after the game we had, I'm happy they're gone.
Yeah.
I got a problem with Clay Matthews. I feel like he's a douchebag, speaking of.
He is a douchebag. And who's the douchebag that was taking you like that again? I forget which Packer it was.
That was Randall Cobb.
There you go, asshole. Fuck you, Randall Cobb.
Clay Matthews the one who's complaining about the NFL rules and saying we should go to college rules?
Yes.
Yeah,
I heard that.
That's absurd.
He did? I didn't hear that. What was his argument?
He didn't like the overtime rules.
Overtime rules should be college rules.
Let me tell you something. The college overtime rules are the dumbest thing in the history of football.
I agree.
I hate the college overtime rules. It's not football. It's kind of phony, baloney nonsense. I like the NFL rules much better.
And especially now that they've adjusted them a little bit, so if they kick a field goal, you at least get a shot.
Yeah.
You know,
it's better.
Yeah.
It's so much better the way the NFL does it.
Yeah, it's improved. Well, speaking of overtime, back to Larry Fitz as well. You lose him on one play, and then you allow him to get the touchdown one play later on that ridiculous, what was it, like a shovel pass there by Palmer through the end zone? Awesome design play.
That got classified as a run or a pass. But
It's a pass.
Okay. It's a shovel. Yeah.
But it's another.
The funny thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The funny thing was they wanted to end the game with Larry Fitzgerald. He had that run. Then they threw the fade to him. They just overthrew it a little bit, and then all right, we're going to do it this way. Shovel pass, touchdown. They wanted to end the game with
they were going
Larry.
video game mode.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. And Madden, I do that same thing. If I had a guy that got a long pass for big chunky yards and got stopped at the 1 or something, I'd go right back to him. It's like, you deserve the touchdown.
Well, I mean, to relate this to the Redskins, that game really shows why we need an elite wide receiver. And while we all love Pierre Garçon, he's just not as capable as that. He's not as big. He's not as precise as Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald's a Hall of Famer, and they don't grow on trees. But my point is, that is an area of need, and it shows precisely why we don't have a guy who can do that in the clutch.
I think Pierre Garçon would be a hell of a slot receiver.
He might be, yeah.
I think he'd be a hell of a slot receiver.
If you have the luxury to stick him in the slot, that is.
He's great at getting yards after the catch. He's very tough. He's very physical. He'd probably be one of the more physical slot receivers out there.
Here's my thing about Larry Fitzgerald compared to our two big star receivers. Larry Fitzgerald, in terms of skill set, to me, is much more of a Pierre Garçon type. He can do everything. He's not just a down the field threat. He's not just a possession guy. He's got a little bit of everything going for him.
Yeah.
And that's what Pierre does. Larry Fitzgerald is a very physical receiver, like Pierre. If you were to ask me who's going to be better at age 35, and actually I'll ask you guys, who do you think will be a better receiver at age 35, Pierre Garçon or Deshaun Jackson?
Oh, Garçon.
I think
absolutely Garçon.
Probably Garçon.
Yeah.
Probably, but I feel like Garçon would have so much tread on his tires. You know what I mean? Like he's that guy that just is always bruising whenever he has the ball in his hands. And I don't know how beat down he'd be at that point.
Well, yeah, but
Deshaun doesn't take those kind of
no,
hits.
but he's not going to be running a 4.3 40 at age 35, and that's his elite skill is his speed.
That's true.
Yeah.
But in terms of Garçon,
when I look at Fitzgerald, that's what I look at is if I want a guy who's going to be that guy for us, it's more likely to be Garçon just because he'll stick around for another 4 years.
I think you're right. I think you're right about that. I'll say I think Larry Fitz, first of all, he's much more of a complete package in that I think he is smarter, a little smarter than Garçon, where Garçon might be a little more physical. I think Fitz is a little smarter. He uses his blocks better. I think he's just a little bit smarter of a player, but I see what you're saying about the comparison.
Like I said, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, either way, if we had anybody of that caliber on this team, I think that would be great.
I just think one final point about Garçon, I think he would make a good slot receiver, but the problem is we don't have anybody to play the X. Really, at a
that's what I'm saying. You don't have the luxury to put him there.
No,
there's some guys out there to draft.
We'd have to get somebody.
Would be a very good addition.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas from Ohio State would be that guy.
Yeah,
6'3". I'm not sure how much he weighs, but he's that X.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, guys, I can already see it coming. We're gonna have to do a full mock draft episode, aren't we?
Oh, well, we will have plenty of time.
It's going back to our very first episode, man.
That's right. That's where we started. God, the hog side's gonna turn 1 soon, guys. Sorry, not to add a tangent, but holy shit.
But it's eating soft food now.
But to finish the thought, though, I don't think we have an X on the team other than Garçon, and I think you're right, Rob. We would have to draft someone or sign someone like Alshon Jeffrey, maybe someone else who could be an X in order to move Garçon to the slot. And if we do that, then where does Deshaun Jackson play?
Or Crowder, for that matter.
Or Crowder.
Right.
It's just hell of a good depth.
Yeah.
Crowder would still get on the field. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, let's pick another game. What do you guys want to talk about?
Well, the other one, I guess, I don't feel like the other ones were as interesting as that one. None of them really particularly were. Steelers and Broncos, as I thought Robbie so astutely pointed out, was kind of a boring game. But I think with Denver advancing in this matchup against the Patriots, this could be an interesting place to talk about Peyton Manning here.
Yeah. I think Peyton Manning might be the worst quarterback of all the 12 teams that were in the playoffs. And I'm including Houston.
Woo!
Well, I think
AJ McCarron.
I think that's utterly ridiculous, Alex. I mean,
I love that he said it though.
Is he what he was?
He is staring down receivers like a first-year player.
Yeah,
he can't get the ball out.
No, he can't. He also fell untouched during that game, twice, I believe.
And by the way, he is so old. By the end of games, he looks like the freaking Emperor in Star Wars. He's got just wrinkles and sweat all over him.
Oh my God, Peyton! Don't listen to
this
show.
The interesting thing about this game coming up between the Patriots and Broncos is this very well could be the last time we see a Brady Manning showdown.
Yes,
I don't think it's
interesting point.
I think
it's pretty likely. Peyton's contract.
And you know what? And he better win this game. Peyton better. I think if he wants to make a point about his legacy, I think this is an important
It's not
game.
happening.
I doubt
happening.
it. But you got to believe in the magic. You know? What a magical moment it would be for his legacy.
Brady's going to kick their ass.
The only
Patriots are
thing
going to roll right over them.
The only chance Denver has is they have to keep riding that defense.
Okay.
Right.
Number one, Peyton Manning is not the worst quarterback in the playoffs. Okay. Is he a shell of himself physically? Yes. Does he have the arm strength
Absolutely.
he had? No. But he's still very, very smart. He can still read the defenses, like no one else probably except Brady maybe. So I think you're underselling him dramatically. I would take Peyton Manning in a heartbeat over, Brian Hoyer and A.J. McCarron and some of those guys. Number one.
Hoyer was the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Hoyer was terrible.
Yeah, Peyton still has his head. He just doesn't have, the arm that he used to have. That's his problem.
Yeah.
But, I think if we're having an honest moment here, and I hate to say this, I think you have to say the Patriots are the odds-on favorites to win the Super Bowl at this point. As much
Absolutely.
as I want to vomit when I say it, it's the truth.
I agree. I want to make this point, though, to Robbie's, just to throw a stat at you guys. Tom Brady has faced Peyton Manning, I believe, 6 times, and he's only 2-4 in those matchups. I'm sorry,
That's in the playoffs.
It could be in the playoffs
They
because
faced each other more than that.
the only two. I think it must be postseason because the only 2 quarterbacks that he's beaten were Tim Tebow and Danny Cannell, I think was the name. So he's historically it's at Denver is what it is. It's at Denver. Tom Brady has only beaten Peyton Manning at Denver 2 times in the 6
Gotcha.
matchups. So take that for what you will. I know that's not
much.
I'm just saying it could happen. It could happen.
The full overall record, I just found it for all their meetings, is Brady is 11-5 over Peyton. He leads that series. But yeah, on the road is a little different. So
As it always
that'll
is.
be interesting.
Well,
that
look,
always adds a twist.
the way to beat Tom Brady is to get a lot of pressure on him. The times when you see him get out of his zone and kind of out of his element is when people start hitting him. And he has such a quick release, it's a really tough thing to do. But fortunately, the Broncos are the leading sacking team in the NFL. They had 52 sacks this year, which is a whole lot. And so, what you can't do is you can't sit back in a zone and, let him pick you apart because that's just death,
Right.
Yeah.
So what you have to do is get him out of his comfort zone. The only way to do that is to put a ton of pressure on him. That is the way to beat Tom Brady. It's what the Steelers did to him a couple years ago in the playoffs. That's the way. And if any team can do that, it's probably the Broncos.
Absolutely. And, you always know when the Patriots are having a bad time when Brady's yelling at the O-line.
Yes.
You always see him walking to the sidelines doing his little head bob and yelling at guys. But you mentioning how the Patriots are the favorites going into the Super Bowl, assuming they beat the Broncos. I don't know, though, because I feel like the Panthers put on a Super Bowl winning performance as well. I mean, they got up 31 points over Seattle.
Yeah.
And they are no, slouches. I mean, Seattle, going into the playoffs, they were on fire.
we all have so many thoughts about this. This is great.
And I texted you guys this. I saw the Reverend Saturday morning, and the Revenant. Sorry, the bear attack in that movie was kind of the same way that first half of the Seahawks Panthers game went.
Zing!
It
was a bloodbath. I haven't seen the
And
movie.
brutal.
that bear attack is absolutely just it's
horrifying.
scary. Yeah, it's like it's really happening. I'm watching a guy get mauled by a bear.
Yeah, see, as a slight tangent, guys, sharks and bears, I don't fuck with that.
No,
I don't fuck with.
Don't mess with sharks, bears, or poisonous snakes.
That's the worst to live by, guys.
I haven't seen the
Oh, my.
I haven't seen the movie yet, but my problem with the Panthers is that they've had several
I don't
games.
fuck with Panthers either.
Well, yeah, that's not good either. But the problem with the Panthers, and this happened in the Seattle game, they've had great first halves and they've collapsed in the second half. That's happened time and time and time again. Not time and time.
Yeah.
It's happened several times this year, and you can't do that against the Patriots.
No,
and
they
the Patriots
find
are
ways to
experienced. The
win.
Patriots are experienced.
Yes.
The Panthers are not. Which is a big deal.
And the Patriots, absolutely.
Yeah, first of all, they might not get the Cardinals, number one. The Cardinals are on, that's a tough game anyway. But if you assume it's Patriots-Panthers, I think you have to favor the Patriots just from the experience factor alone and the consistency and their health,
Yeah, But you look at the pressure they got on Seattle. I mean, their D-line
Mm-hmm.
was getting in Russell Wilson's face all game, pretty much. Russell Wilson had to just make magical things happen like he always does. That like the one touchdown to Curse in the back of the end zone. I don't know how the hell he got that touchdown.
Yeah.
It pissed me off, actually, because I get tired of how he just magically gets out of situations like that. It happens all the time. I'm like, come on, man.
I was so
Nobody
happy
else
when that
can
ended up
do
being
that.
a loss because I was sitting in a bar and there were all these assholes in their 12 jerseys. You know, they're cheering for things like "We kicked an extra point, we kicked an," and it's like, you've never watched football. You don't cheer for the extra point.
That's me for Steeler fans, by the way. I
You
encounter
get a lot of those down there.
I encounter Steeler fans that cheer at everything and they're loud and obnoxious about it too.
Mm-hmm.
They're like cockroaches.
They are Steelers fans are cockroaches all over the East Coast. They are all over
Because there's nothing left to do in Pittsburgh, so they leave.
A highly
Pittsburgh is a horrible
overrated
hellhole, guys.
It's a highly overrated fan base. I find them obnoxious, loud.
Yeah.
I don't like the
Right.
Steeler fans.
It's
Sorry,
all the
Steeler
goddamn
fans.
rings they have, Steve. It makes sense.
Maybe true. Yeah.
Yeah,
But anyway,
Packers fans aren't that annoying, and they have as many.
I just don't find
That's
them
true.
as obnoxious for some reason. The Steelers fans, all their stupid, terrible towels and everything else. Yuck.
Yeah, agreed. I think we all agree on that. Speaking of, just to speak a little bit about their loss here, this guy, Martavius Bryant, by the way, on the Steelers, he is a baller. Awesome job.
Well, I think we saw
Yes,
that,
and-
going back to the draft. I think we knew he was going to, after we saw his draft workouts, we knew that was how he was going to end up. He just needed to get on a team that was going to effectively use his talent.
Yeah.
Well,
He played out
here's
well.
my question before we go off too much of a tangent, but you look at all these Clemson wide receivers that are just making tons of plays in the NFL.
Yeah.
Martavis Bryant, not Dustin Hopkins, the dude for the Texans, Hopkins. I forget what's his first
DeAndre
name?
Hopkins.
Starts with a D.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Thank you. He's a baller for the Texans as well. And then you got Sammy Watkins on the Bills, who's being underutilized. How did they not win a championship before that? I mean, so much talent between the three of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they didn't have
Well,
the
who do they have
quarterback.
throwing to him?
Now they have the quarterback now. That's it with Clemson.
Who was their quarterback?
I
It
don't
was
know. I don't
Taj
follow-
Boyd, wasn't it?
Yeah. He was okay,
Okay.
but he's not, who they have now,
No.
well,
whose
Scott
name I
McLuhan
can't
was
remember.
listening.
No, you need a great quarterback to make the good receivers look good.
Yes, you
Yeah.
do.
It's all
True.
connected, of course. Well, anyways, should we put predictions down? Are we confident enough to do that in terms of the games this weekend?
So who's getting to the Super Bowl, basically?
The stage is set, guys. We got to make calls here,
Let's do it.
and don't do
Okay.
who you want. Let's say, you got to be honest. Who you're
Okay.
thinking? You want me? Go ahead.
I'll go
Somebody
first. I know you don't like going first, Sean. Okay, we'll
No,
start
I
with the
gotta rip you
AFC.
guys off.
We'll start with the AFC. I think the Patriots beat the Denver Broncos. I think Bill Belichick's smart enough to counteract the blitz that's coming with Denver. And I think being as how it's
Eighth
in
New England appearance.
I think being as how it's in New England, I think the Patriots will figure it out. I think Tom Brady has a little bit more left than Peyton Manning does, and so it's going to be the Patriots in a close in a close game, but a game that the Patriots are in control of the entire day. And in terms of the NFC, who I definitely want to win, I'm rooting for is Carolina. The problem is if the Cardinals have an on day, they're almost unstoppable. But they're traveling east. I don't know if it's an early game or a late game. But teams that travel from the West Coast east to play the early game on Sundays have a terrible record.
It's a 6:40
Carolina.
p.m. game.
Okay, so it's a night game, so that helps a little bit. But
got time.
the key for the Carolina Panthers is that they need to have a consistent performance for 4 quarters. If they do that, they'll win. So I think the Panthers are going to squeak it out. I think it's Cam Newton's year. He's having an MVP season. He's going to do something spectacular to drag the Carolina Panthers to face the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. That's my prediction.
And how many balls do you predict Cam Newton will give to children in the stadium in that game?
Well, you're asking
7,000?
for a score, basically. 4? Robbie's,
you're right,
Robbie's
actually.
flashing 4 at me.
4? Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
He'll be part of 4.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'll count for 4.
I like that. Somebody, Alex, put that on the website that we've got that prediction in. We
That
strike
Cam
gold
Newton
on
has
that.
4 balls.
Yeah, he's got 4 balls. Quad ball.
Okay, well, let me go now. So let me just say, I really would rather see Peyton Manning win this AFC game.
Yeah.
But because I generally like him more, and I'm sick of seeing the Patriots in every other Super Bowl. But it's not going to happen. As I said, I think he's completely done. I think he's, it's obvious to anyone who watches the game that he's done. So I think the Patriots are going to manhandle the Broncos, frankly. It won't be a high-scoring game, but like 24-14 kind of thing. On the other side, it's tough. The NFC game's going to be so much better. I think the NFC is at this point a better conference again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
And
At least in the playoffs, each game has been entertaining throughout.
Exactly.
Unlike the AFC games.
And so here's what I'm kind of going to come down to. I look at the quarterbacks. Both teams have very good quarterbacks. Both teams have solid defenses. But the edge to me goes to Arizona with better playmakers.
Wow. Okay.
Their receiving core is better. I think it's probably a wash at running back, but
Yeah, Stewart. Yep.
yeah. But that's where I'm coming down to. So I'm going to go Cardinals versus Patriots.
Okay. I am not. Unfortunately, I can't change things up too much, guys. I've got to say that the Patriots are probably going to take this game and make their 8th Super Bowl appearance. Frankly, during this past game, Peyton Manning looked gassed. I don't remember if I mentioned this during the show or if it was just before it, but he fell untouched at one point, got back up. He was so untouched that nobody downed him because everyone was kind of like taken aback. Anyways,
Well,
he's
you don't
a
want him to
pity
break a
sack.
hip.
right.
Pulled an Albert
Exactly.
Hainsworth.
Anyways, he's
I've fallen. I can't get up.
right. I mean, he scrambles up and he ends up ripping the pass off, but he's just not sure on his feet anymore, and he looks really gassed. I would love to see the storyline for him to get in there and beat Tom Brady and put that stamp on his legacy, but I doubt it's going to happen. So I think the Patriots are going to take this. Now, Alex, I'm actually going to differ from you on this one and say I agree with most of what you said, but I think it comes down to which quarterback is hotter in the postseason, and I think, frankly, Cam Newton's a little bit hotter than Carson Palmer. I love Carson Palmer, and I would love to see some Carson Palmer in the Super Bowl. I think that's a great career trajectory and storyline. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Kind of like a Kurt Warner storyline.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Only different in how they got into the NFL, obviously.
Right. I mean, that's a good
Palmer's had
point.
his
Overall
ups and
versus
downs.
AFL.
He's really had some bad circumstances in his career that are beyond his control.
He has to go to Oakland.
And
Oakland.
right. And this would be such a great last laugh moment for him if he could pull this off. I just don't see it happening. So I'm going Carolina, New England, unfortunately.
I'm going to piss off a couple people here, and I don't know about the people listening. I'll probably piss them off too. But Alex, you hating on the Patriots, I have to say that in the Duncan household, we sort of are Patriots fans in a way.
You're banished, Robbie.
We're
Yeah.
we're Brady fans.
I'm fucking done with you, dude.
Part of it for me is that my high school, when I was growing up, back in Sterling, our mascot was the Patriots. I played on the football team there.
I feel like
so
half the high
it
schools
kinda
in Northern
fit.
Virginia are named the Patriots.
No, there's just one that I know of.
Shut
But,
down. No.
There might be more, but in the Loudoun County area, it was just one. But yeah, so I like Brady more than I like Peyton Manning. I mean, I don't know why. I just do. So I want to see Patriots go. I know they will. They will handle the Broncos. Peyton Manning's going to throw like 3 picks. And then, Patriots will win. I don't know. I'm not going to guess the score, but Patriots win. And then Panthers, Cardinals. I mean, I just hope I'm rooting for a good game either way. I like both teams. I like the story for Carson Palmer. I like Cam Newton a lot. I like his, the confidence he plays with, and the charisma he has, the energy he has.
He's having fun out there.
It's infectious.
The team, the team is all about him. It's very cool to see. But so that game, I think the Panthers are going to edge it out because of Cam Newton. He's going to be too hard to handle. He can run it, he'll throw it. and he's going to make a lot of good plays.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm
Quick
at.
point, Robbie. There are 11 different schools in Virginia named the Patriots.
Oh,
You
rebuttal.
you said Northern Virginia.
That's true, I did. But
Rebuttal.
but I can't find anyone who has that stat. I just could find the state.
Hey, look, I don't even care. I just think it's inexcusable that the Duncan household are Patriots fans. That's just awful.
Yeah, I don't like that, Robbie.
It's awful.
I'm gonna be honest.
and,
I don't like that.
Yeah, I
They've
really
been our
don't.
number 2. I don't know what to tell you.
They are a
It's
giant
true.
number 2. You're exactly right. I'll say this. I think we should go on to talk about some of
May
the
God have
coaching
mercy
changes,
on
but
your
I'll say
soul.
this to your point, Robbie. I mean, let's be honest. Is Tom Brady the greatest quarterback all time? And is Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, are they obviously the greatest quarterback-coach tandem? That was being discussed on the radio
From
today.
a statistical production standpoint, of course they are.
I mean,
no
but
other-
also
no
from
other
just
t-
the common smell test. Don't they just pass the test to you?
Yes.
I think it's hard to not say they are. I think they're absolutely the best.
Yeah.
You have
It's
to look
not.
at what
It's
they've
not
been
even
doing.
really the argument. The real argument is are they the best coach, team leader tandem in American sports history?
Yeah, not exactly.
Yes.
They're in the discussion. I think you've got the old Yankees teams that are in there. You've
Right.
got the Lakers dynasty. You've got the Celtics dynasty in the '60s. But the Patriots are in the discussion for that. I hate to say it. It just makes me ill to say it, but I think a football team going to 8 Super Bowls.
That says something.
It's
It
unprecedented.
also it's an era question. I mean, if you look at the era we play in, it definitely favors Brady's skill set now.
Yes.
We've had this discussion off mic. There's a lot of quarterbacks now who wouldn't have survived in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And Brady probably would have. His quick throwing ability, like his quick strike ability, just that can't be matched.
Yeah. He's something
But-
else.
Well, and he's changed his game. That team doesn't have anybody really that's going to take the top off the defense anymore. Ever since Randy
No.
Moss left, he doesn't do that. He doesn't really have the arm strength for that anymore. He's really a death by 1,000 cuts, surgical strikes to Julian Edelman on
you,
dig
Mark.
routes and things like that. And Gronk, I guess, is the big play guy when they need it, but it's not what they used to be.
Even
and
when
yet
you
he's
know
still-
it's going to Gronk, they pull
Yeah.
it off. It's crazy.
And see, the thing to me is when you talk about him versus Manning during their whole tenure, Manning gets all the I don't know how you want to say it,
The highlight.
notoriety for being the genius, the offensive coordinator on the field, but Brady is just as smart, if not smarter in a way than Manning.
Yep.
I mean, he's not always yelling Omaha, Omaha, or audibling as much as Manning is, but he is a field reader. He sees everything that's going on. He knows everything that's going on in that field. He's not. It's not an intelligence thing that separates Manning and Brady, because I think they're both on the same parallel.
I agree with you
Yeah,
completely.
he's not calling the plays. He's not calling
think
the plays
it's-
in the same manner as his.
Yeah.
It's
right.
tomato type thing. They're doing the same thing in a different way.
I mean, I think, Steve, your point was that was the point that I was going to make, which is that I think you could definitely say Tom Brady has been in a better system. Obviously, he's been in a system for longer, and I think over his career, he's had better weapons than Manning has for the vast majority of it, I would say.
Well,
I would
and
think.
honestly,
I'm not saying this. Yeah,
At the
go
end of
ahead.
the day, you can't argue with production. That group, Belichick and Brady have been to 8 Super Bowls and won 5 with a cast of nothing around them half the time. As much as I can't stand the Patriots organization just because I'm sick of them, it is incredible what they have done with a bunch of Jags around them at times.
Well, Manning was in that situation too, though. I was going to say in Indianapolis.
Manning's
for a
had
long time.
Marvin Harrison, who's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but,
Reggie
but,
Wayne.
but you
Reggie
can name those
Wayne,
people for Brady too. I
Edgerrin
mean, he's had
James.
playmakers
No, you
at
can't.
times.
Other than Randy Moss,
He's
who's
got
there for a
playmakers
year.
right now. Gronkowski now has the most postseason touchdowns of any tight end in
Gronk
history.
is the one I'll give you, but the rest of those guys, Danny Amendola was with the Rams on a bad Rams team.
Right.
Julian Edelman, I forgot where Julian Edelman came from, but
Well,
those
the
guys
big
were.
difference is the Patriots.
He's a drafted quarterback.
The Patriots have a history of rotating out receivers. You basically go to New England for one contract and you're gone. And
Yeah.
I think that's part of their formula. Frankly, is
I do
that
too.
way teams are always having to adjust for different types of play calls and everything every couple of years.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
they've-
true. And I
Manning
mean, Tom
gets
Brady had
guys
Wes
and sticks with
Welker.
them.
He had Randy Moss. He had mid playmakers at times in his career.
He made Wes
Wes Welker.
Welker. He made Wes Welker.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, we could go on and on, but I think we all agree.
Just like he's making Julian Edelman.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, he's definitely making.
Well, and the other thing
Julian
about
Edelman.
the
I will agree with
Patriots
that.
is their offensive line isn't anything that's, some great offensive line.
It's battered. They're
Yeah.
hurting right now.
That's true.
In his prime
but he
years,
gets rid of the
They
balls.
had a great line, though.
He gets rid of the ball so fast that it doesn't matter. Does not matter.
Yeah.
Well,
We
we
shall
could
see
talk about Brady and versus Manning for, I think, 10 hours.
until the cows come home.
Let's not.
No.
Yeah, let's not do that. Instead, maybe we should shift back to the old burgundy and gold.
Let's talk about our own quarterbacks.
Who?
Yes, the Redskins. I know. Have you forgotten about them already, viewing audience? We almost have.
They're not viewing. They're listening, but
They could be looking
They're
at
viewing
whatever
with their
still photo I
ears.
come up with
Yeah.
on the YouTube page.
They're viewing one still photo. Yeah. Well, anyways, let's talk about the Redskins because stuff has happened. I understand we've got some contract talk to go over.
Yeah.
well,
Got a little
it's
Griffin
a good.
talk to go over. Go ahead.
The contract thing. We are about to publish. I'm about to publish my magnum opus of contract analysis here in the next couple days. Probably by the time you guys listen to this, the big
Does that
question
mean
of
you're
the
going to die? Because
I hope
isn't that what a
not.
magnum opus means?
No, that just
Or am I
means it's
thinking-
the pinnacle of your professional success. That's what a magnum opus is.
Okay.
Wow.
That would be a funeral dirge, perhaps.
Magnum PI.
So the question really is, what are the Redskins going to do with Kirk Cousins, right?
Yes.
And every indication is that the team wants to sign him to a long-term contract, and if they don't, they're going to franchise tag him. So
Right.
I did a huge analysis of this, to try and figure it out. I'd like to know what you guys think about what the team should do with
Yeah.
Cousins before I go into a diatribe about it.
I would love to.
Well, I think.
I'll start.
Okay, you want to start?
Go for it.
Yeah,
Go
I'll
for
start.
it.
Get mine out of the way. I think the safest thing, it's going to be a lot of money for 1 year, but I think the safest thing to do is to franchise tag him and work on a deal in the meantime while he's under the tag. And then if it doesn't work out getting a long-term deal, then it's a prove-it deal type thing. I think it's the safest thing. No one's going to come in and give him a deal he can't refuse type thing. I think he's under our protection. He's we have every right to him, and no one else can take him away while we can figure out this contract thing.
Sure.
And I thought I was going to say the most crazy, bold statement when I said Peyton Manning was terrible.
You think this rival?
Robbie, that
Wow.
You think that was bold?
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
surprised.
I think saying the franchise tag should be your goal is a very risky thing. We all know how rarely it actually happens with quarterbacks. I think it's only been 3 times that a quarterback's been tagged. And now
Really?
I will say, Kirk Cousins has publicly said he's okay with a franchise tag, which is interesting. Usually people complain about it.
Well, he doesn't have much of a choice.
Well, I
He
think
could throw a
his
hissy
quote,
fit if he wanted, though, and he's not doing that.
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
having
and I
Kirk
think
Cousins
his
getting
quote
over
was,
20
If you want to give me $20 million, I'll take $20 million.
Right.
Yeah, he'll be getting $20 million. It's not that big a deal.
Right. Well, Alex, do you want to give your spiel on this, or should I go off on my ramble?
Well, I think ideally we would sign him to something that's team friendly and would keep him here for at least 3 years.
Yes.
That might be a 5-year contract, but you guys know how this all works.
Yes.
So I would say that should be kind of their goal. I do agree if they can't work out something, you got to franchise tag him before he hits the open market, though.
Okay. I'm gonna change things up from what you guys said. So, Robbie, I felt the exact same way you did about a week ago. I said, why not just franchise tag him? You have exclusive rights to him. If it doesn't work out, you can kick him to the curb the next year. And $25 million is a lot, but if there's time that you have
20.
a little space in the budget, it might be now. And go ahead and do it. I have changed my mind on that completely. If he gets franchise tagged and plays well, and then we need to work out a blockbuster contract, we just blew way too much money. We just wasted a lot of money. I don't know if it makes sense to do that because I don't know if Kirk Cousins is necessarily bringing that much more to the table than a Colt McCoy is, who you could get for dirt cheap. The cost-value difference between them, to me, is the real issue here. I do not think he's worth a $100 million contract, so what I would try to do, try to sign him to a team-friendly, multi-year deal, not $100 million. Go way lower than that. And if he doesn't take it, let him walk. That is a bold statement, but that is what I would do. So,
Yeah, I think you're not far from right, Sean. You guys out there going to have to read our column to get too many of the
we're not
details
going to
of
reveal your
this.
numbers, Steve.
You don't want me to reveal the numbers? Okay.
No, we got to keep it secret.
Well, I just meant,
people to
there's a big long analysis of it, but safe to say that if you look at Kirk Cousins' performance, and then you look at the contracts of the other quarterbacks around the league, which I did, I think there's a slot that he fits in pretty easily that can be team friendly. I think above all else, what's important is you can give him a big raw total value contract number, but it's got to be team friendly in that the team has to be able to get out of it. If you look at the contracts for his peers, every one of these contracts, that the team is able to get out of it. And what I mean by that is you can cut the player without taking a cap penalty. That is the key, And so if you can get out of this contract in year 2, which is what most of his peers do, I'm talking about the Andy Daltons, the Ryan Tannehills of the world. If you can get out of it in the second year, it's generally going to be okay. And do you want me to reveal the numbers, or you want me to save it, Alex?
It's really your call. I was just kind of
okay. You're kidding. I think what you're looking at here is 5 years, $85 million, with something like $40 million guaranteed, and with cap numbers starting out in like the low teens and progressing upwards a little bit, to the almost $20 million by the fifth year. But I think it's almost guaranteed, based on looking at all the contracts that I did, that in year 2, the cap hit is going to exceed the dead money, which means they can cut him and get rid of him without a penalty. So that's what I think is going to happen. And in terms of the details, it's all going to be in the post. But Sean, I know the big number sounds bad, but it's really not as bad as it sounds if you're talking about a deal that we can cut him. If he regresses to bad Kirk, and we can cut him at the end of next year, all is well. Of the newsflash here is that, I'm with you. I think you let him walk if he gets a huge contract for sure, because it's possible somebody may overbid. But the simple fact of the matter is that all of these contracts have total numbers that are big. It's going to sound like a big number no matter what, and people are going to have to get past that because it will be big.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing I was just going to say is I understand too that Kirk's camp is not going to settle for any less than 40 guaranteed. I mean, they're going to go for at least that guaranteed, no matter what.
I don't know. I mean, what's important is the percentage of the contract that's guaranteed. And they're not going to get too much more than a certain amount, guaranteed.
I mean, just under 50% with what you're talking about.
I think considering that the risk the Redskins have to take, we talked about this off air, there's a lot of risk associated with Kirk Cousins. And I know the Team Kirk charter members out there are going to eviscerate me for this, but there's a lot of risk associated with him because he does not have a history of outstanding performance. He's got about 6 or 7 games that are good, and the rest, quite honestly, are average at best. And now the team likes him, and the people who know way more about it than we do are high on him. I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying if you're negotiating a contract, he has a lot more risk than a guy like Andy Dalton, who played three years, started. Russell Wilson played 4 years, and all 4 years. Ryan Tannehill improved steadily over the years. We don't have that with Cousins, and so I think he has to take a hit on the contract because of that.
Agreed.
Well, here's the thing, though. He has not been saying that he wants to stay here. He wants to be where he's wanted. He hasn't come out and said, I want to stay here in Washington, that kind of thing. He's basically said, show me the money.
Yep.
Or someone else will.
Which apparently
basically.
no one in the media cares about that, which makes no sense. He's an asshole. He doesn't even say he doesn't even put on appearances, guys, that he wants to stay here. It's ridiculous.
Right. Well, I mean,
but he's doing it in a Kirk Cousins way, though. It's not like he's
not being a dick.
He's not being a dick, but he's also saying, in his nice guy way, pay me. Yeah. Basically.
Right.
All right. My last point on all this would be, it's not surprising that he's saying that, and it could be posturing on his part. But any quarterback, you have to take this risk at some point. And it can either devastate your team. Frankly, we probably set ourselves back with taking the risk to get RG3, with all the trades to get him.
At this point, definitely.
Yeah. We did it before with, I hate to go back to it, but Jeff George. And, that was a big risk. to get a quarterback, it's a risk. It's always a risk. Either you're risking money, you're risking draft picks, you're risking something for a quarterback. There's no, so either it's going to blow up in our face or it won't, but you always have to take a risk.
Okay, you guys are kind of missing the point about
Rex Grossman.
You guys are kind of missing the point about the contract situation, though. There's a way to reach a consensus wherein Kirk Cousins will have a big number in which is simultaneously more friendly to the team in two ways. It's not just being able to terminate the contract, it's the salary cap number. You do that by structuring the bonuses in a certain way. You give them, there's a lot of ways to do it. And then, if the percentage of the cap used is not humongous. If you look at, the Joe Flacco's of the world, the Drew Breeses of the world, some others, Eli's got a big number. They have a really big percentage of the cap. Okay, Eli's not that big actually, but some others are. If you can get the number fairly small, you can sign players, and if your cap numbers are manageable and the dead money is manageable, you can give them a big contract, and it still's not quite so onerous as you might think. It's where you'll see if it gets bad. You know what? Hey, sorry, Sean.
No, you're talking
if you
about
see really big cap,
that risk.
If you see really big cap numbers,
there is,
but if you see really big cap numbers, that's when it's bad for the Redskins.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't you like contract analysis, Sean? I mean, come on.
I do, but I'd say to everybody listening, keep it simple. Sign him to the fucking team-friendliest deal you can, because the last thing you want to do is give him a fat contract, and then next year against the first-place schedule, he regresses big time.
And that's the other thing. He's going to regress. There will be a regression.
Unless he turns into the next Tom Brady.
Right. We don't want a Joe Flacco repeat.
Well, not even Tom Brady has put up numbers over a career that Kirk Cousins put up in like 5 or 6 games. If anybody who expects the Kirk Cousins at the end of the season for the rest of his career are absolutely fooling themselves. History says it can't happen. It won't happen, period. He's going to regress to a mean, and that's just a fact. Mm-hmm. The question is, what's the mean? Where does he regress to?
Even if he drops back to 75% of what he was, that's still a pretty good quarterback.
It's
not bad.
It's better than a sexy Rexy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But anyways,
better than what we've had for 20 years.
Yeah, agreed. But anyways, let's talk about other stuff in Redskins news, because hey guys, I heard that RG3 did absolutely nothing, and everybody in the media got pissed off about it again.
Yeah.
Maybe we should talk about that.
It's such a great way of saying it.
So he leaves a note in a locker, guys. It's got a Bible passage, okay? It's about forgiveness. It's about forgiveness in the face of injustice. It's about forgiveness in the face of, people that don't maybe respect you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Kind of an innocuous religious thing. And then cue the media freak out, guys. I mean, is this as ridiculous to you as it is to me?
It is. It was a little bit passive aggressive maybe on Robert's part, but I think the media is making certainly a bigger deal out of it, than they should. I think everybody makes a bigger deal out of anything Robert Griffin does than they should. I mean, it's no secret I like the guy, and it's no secret that you like the guy, Sean. I think he got a raw deal from the Redskins from about year 2 on. And it just is extending a little bit. That having been said, don't do it, Robert. Mm-hmm. Just walk out, take everything, take the Bible verse down, and walk out.
Fair enough.
That was one last RG3-esque story that came about.
That was the
right as he left. I mean, exactly.
One last hashtag.
It was like that. I hate to say it, but I liked Robert too. Yeah. Always have, but it did not help him in any way. Just take it down and throw it away.
You should have just spray painted on the wall, "I know my why," and moved on.
I think he should have just photocopied his ass and posted it on every locker room. That's what I do every time I quit something.
If you're gonna go out, you might as well go out in a blaze of glory.
Exactly.
We now know why Sean's references were all so terrible.
Yeah, exactly. That's why my periods of unemployment are so long, guys. Anyways, I feel so bad for him. He's on his way out. The dude is down.
I do too.
Yeah, maybe it was passive aggressive. I agree. Yeah. But you know what?
It's very teenage.
He gets a raw deal.
It is.
Okay, fair enough. But it's certainly not Mike Jones front page article worthy, which is what it became.
No.
Do we want to say where we think he'll go real quick? Just like prediction-wise?
Sure, I'm down for that.
Go for it.
If anybody wants to venture a guess, yeah.
Dallas.
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 Steve thinks Dallas.
Yep, I think Dallas.
How incendiary would that be to the DC media? Holy shit.
I think he's perfect for Dallas.
They would shart themselves if that happened.
See, I'll say where I think he's going. I don't think Robert's going to Dallas. I think Johnny Manziel's going to Dallas.
Oh, what a train
Why?
wreck. What if they both went there?
Why? Jerry Jones wants him. Johnny Manziel wants Jerry. Basically, they want to both be they want to be in the same
They
place.
wanna
He
be at
wants
the
to
same
play for
Coke party.
Dallas. Exactly. Yeah, they're gonna party together. They're perfect. So yeah, Johnny Manziel's going to Dallas, and then I think here's the irony here. I think this is all gonna go full circle. Nick Foles sucks right now. He's terrible.
Amen.
He got benched. For I don't even remember the guy's name, who sucked too.
Sam Bradford.
St. Louis is in the guy behind
No.
Nick Foles
I
after the
remember.
trade.
Foles
I
got
can't remember
benched for his
name.
backup. Yeah, this year.
So I'm saying this is all going to go full circle, and Robert's going to play for the Rams.
Wow.
Wouldn't that
The
be
Rams
awful?
stole our draft picks, and now they're going to get our quarterback.
The Rams, like a
That'd be
magnet
awful.
for
Yep.
the Rams are a magnet for apparently, if this happens, they're a magnet for overpriced quarterbacks. Teams pay way too much to get and have knee problems.
You were talking about Case
Yeah.
Keenum, by the way, Robbie.
That's
Thank
who-
you.
Okay.
How can I forget Case
I just
Keenum?
call him the walking concussion. I think he's still suffering that concussion, guys. I just realized that we haven't talked about any of the coaching changes. Should we get into that now? Should we save that for next time? I mean, there's going to be...
Let's save that for. We only have 10 minutes left. Let's save that for next time.
Okay, there's...
Basically, to sum up for next time, my basic view for next time, spoiler alert, is they're Jags.
Yeah, a lot of Jags.
crazy things are happening in this coaching search, and I imagine crazier things are going to happen still.
I will save my expert opinion for next time.
All right. Well,
Or
any
non-expert opinion.
all right. Well, any final thoughts about Redskins stuff? I just remembered that a funny thing happened between Pierre Garçon and Skip Bayless on Twitter. If you were following that during the Packers game,
I make a point never to pay attention to Skip Bayless.
and that's the moral of this story. So it's ironic you already know it.
Pierre owned
He
him.
did own him. So for anybody that wasn't following it along, Skip says that Green Bay, instead of, they get the touchdown, the amazing Hail Mary with 5 seconds left, Skip says, go for the 2-point win the game. Everybody on Twitter, including Pierre Garçon, jumped on him because why would you try a high failure rate play when you have the chance to go into overtime and have fresh set of downs? So anyways, Pierre's response to Skip was, I believe it was, "Lol, go to bed," which is the perfect response to him.
Oh, I love Pierre Garçon.
Yeah. And that's why he should stay on this team. He's a leader.
He probably-
in social media, in the locker room. He's a man.
Anybody who
Probably
makes
called
Skip
him a
Bayless
fuckboy.
look bad is all
Wait,
right
did he?
by me.
Did he actually say that?
That's like Pierre's favorite word. If you go back and watch Hard Knocks, you hear him saying like every 4 times.
Oh my God!
Every 4 words, it's
I
fuckboy.
thought he straight up tweeted that out. I was gonna laugh so hard if he did that. That would be funny.
He'd probably get in trouble for using that on Twitter.
That's
yeah.
a good point.
Athletes get in trouble for that nonsense.
That's true.
But he used a dirty word. Ooh.
Yeah. Lord knows, Washington players, be careful with your tweeting. People
Yeah.
are watching and scrutinizing very closely your
Dan
tweets.
Steinberg has nothing better to do.
Exactly, man.
He's like he's the biggest predator of
Oh, he
that.
loves
He's
it.
waiting for him.
He's a straight up social media predator. Somebody write an article about that.
They should watch what they tweet,
Dan's on it right now, actually.
They should. I agree. They should watch what they tweet. And for the record, I love Steinberg's. A lot of his stuff is hilarious.
Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah,
I got no
agree.
beef with
He's
him.
got this great new bit he loves to do, and he was doing a lot with the RG3 articles, where he takes comments from the comment section that people are ripping him and calling him an RG3 fanboy, and people ripping him and calling him an RG3 hater from the same story, and just posting them on Twitter.
I mean, I appreciate that there's a lot of that.
Yeah, and he's
I
done
do.
it like 10 times now, and I love it.
God, that's hilarious.
It means he's doing it right, in my opinion.
All right, well, shit, guys. Should we wrap for the day? Should we put the kibosh on this show, or do we miss any Redskins news?
Well, I think we covered the Redskins news. There's one little thing I want to mention.
By all means, sir.
Because you guys know how much I love talking about weird stuff like uniforms and stadiums.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
The Washington Redskins this week, they announced that I'm going to try and pronounce the name of the architect firm, Bjarke Ingels Group.
Are you sure it's not Bjork?
It's Bjarke. They're from Copenhagen.
Bjark.
Yeah, Bjark.
Bjark from Copenhagen.
BIG. Let's just call them the BIG group.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
So that is the name of the architecture firm who's going to be building the new stadium. They have drawings. They don't know where they're going to put it, but they have drawings. And apparently this is one of those cutting-edge architecture firms. They're building Google's new Google's new headquarters.
Oh wow, we got the Google guys. Holy
Yeah, we got the Google guys,
dude.
So
That's the
there we
guy.
go.
Those are the guys we want.
Yep. Anyway,
So wait, did
they've
you
never
see
done
these
the stadium
pictures?
before? But they're the ones who are going to be designing ours.
Oh, have you seen these pictures yourself?
No, I haven't. Do I have an inside source? No.
Oh, I thought you said there were pictures
They're
that were
going to be
somehow.
releasing them sometime this month.
Okay.
Probably like the bye week between the Super Bowl and all that.
Okay. God, yeah, that is something, guys, we talked about in one of our early shows. Is just the terrible fan experience at FedEx. So this is a long time coming.
Yeah.
It's going to be even longer until it's open.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
True story.
It's this kind of architect firm. You're talking about a 5-10 year build.
Well, yeah, the whole project, it's going to be a 6 or 7 year project at least from paper to stadiums. Probably about $1 billion deal, wherever they put it. So it's big time dollars.
Final note: the new design is not a dome; it's an open stadium.
Okay.
So they're sticking with tradition.
Okay, I'm cool with that, honestly. That doesn't bother me.
Is it a turf field, please?
That I don't know.
Yeah, the fields.
It better be.
The fields got a lot.
It better be turf.
They're not
gotta
even
go
to that
next gen.
point yet. Yeah. They're a long way from picking a field.
Dan Snyder's already picking between grasses and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Grass field is old. You got to let it go. I know it's traditional and all, but turf is just so much better. It's better at preventing injuries. It's quicker, it's faster, and it's easier to deal with.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't look like the new LA stadium, I'll be happy. Have you seen photos of what that's going to look like? It looks like a giant sailboat.
Oh, I totally forgot about the Rams move. We got plenty to talk about next time, too, guys. We got to talk about that.
In the Jerry World looks like a one of those crab sacks you see at the beach. Those black crab
Yeah, I'm
sacks.
with you.
You know what I'm talking about? With the egg sacks. You see those black things on the beach all the time. It
Robbie,
looks
most
like
of
one
us
of
don't
those.
live on a beach.
I don't live on the beach, but I go to the beach almost every
If
summer.
Robbie lived on the beach, we'd be doing this podcast from his beach house. Let me tell you something.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, let's wrap it there. Now, we want to make a special announcement, folks, non-football related. Alex, myself, and Robbie, the nerds that we are, have created a spin-off podcast called Stream of Nerdness. We would highly encourage you to check us out.
Yes.
It is awesome. You can, okay, this is
We're going to
bad.
put it on YouTube. We're figuring that out.
We're figuring that out,
That
but
and
it's at
SoundCloud.
at Streaming Nerds on Twitter, and yes, we're going to be on StreamCloud, YouTube, all the places that podcasts go. So check it out, and we hope to see you there.
Facecast.
Yeah, we talk movies, we talk TV shows, video games, all the good stuff.
Yep.
Cool. So, in the meantime, check us out. Keep checking in on for our written content on the website. Like Steve said, he's got an article that's going up today or tomorrow. So check that out about the contract. And otherwise, we will see you next time.